Hello, I'm Howard Schechter, and this is Think About It. And in this Mind segment of the show, we're going to be talking about jobs and the economy. There is an undercurrent I'm hearing about what the truth is concerning the state of the economy and the unemployment situation. I speak with people every day across the country, and from Maine to Oregon, in Florida to California, there's a growing malaise, an uneasy sense that the future of our country and our lifestyle will be very different from what we are used to. It's not hard to understand why we're feeling this way. Millions of people are out of work. Factories are closing and the equipment auctioned off. And the economy just isn't coming back as quickly as it did in past recessions. We've officially been in recession for over 2 years now. There is a sense that the government isn't forthcoming with the true numbers. From my point of view as a researcher, that's not strictly true. The transparency of government operations and data available has never been as great as it is now. The data I quote are from the Department of Labor website. Just Google it up and you'll see it too. But, and here's the rub, that's not how most of us get our information. We get our information from the news media, CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, and the standby ABC, CBS, and NBC networks. The nightly news lets us know what is going on, or at least what it's supposed to be. The problem, as I'm seeing it, is not that the government is not releasing the numbers, but that the media are positioning and presenting the information in a way that tends to downplay the significance of the big picture. I listen very carefully to what the news anchors actually say. An example is the way they report the weekly unemployment numbers. It goes something like this. Good news from the jobs sector. Unemployment claims didn't increase as much as expected. Well, what's that supposed to mean? They didn't increase as much as expected. Am I supposed to feel good about that? Who was doing the expecting? How come they were off the mark so significantly? Why aren't we actually told the actual numbers? Is it to make us feel good? Lull us into a sense of complacency with the situation? Keep us from yelling at the top of our lungs to our elected officials? Let me spell it out. Every week I receive an email from the Department of Labor with the number of first-time unemployment claims filed that week. Those are the number of people who lost their job that week and filed for unemployment. Every week for the last few months, October, November, that number has been over 500,000 jobs lost per week. That's 500,000 families that no longer have someone working and that are now receiving unemployment checks and trying to pay their bills and make ends meet. That's 500,000 families affected each week. They're no longer buying stuff like they used to. They're no longer eating out once a week. They're putting off big-ticket decisions like replacing appliances, getting the roof fixed, and booking family vacations. The effect of 500,000 families losing a breadwinner ripples out to the rest of the economy in a downward spiral. So what's happening to help solve this problem? First, the government created a $682 billion economic stimulus plan designed to get people working and get jobs done that needed doing. The Congress passed this bill in January 2009. It's now November 2009, and what were the results? Well, the numbers came out a couple of weeks ago, and the report was that 30,000 jobs had either been created or kept from disappearing. There was an immediate analysis of the 30,000 job number, and they found there was miscounting going on, and that the number was more like 20,000 to 25,000 jobs actually created. The media focus was on the discrepancy. But is that the right focus? Not in my opinion. We know we're losing over 500,000 jobs every week from the data reported on the Department of Labor website. Even if the stimulus plan had created 60,000 jobs, twice as many, that is nothing compared to the rate of loss of jobs, creating 30,000 jobs over 10 months relative to over 500,000 jobs lost each week. Let's put it into another context. If we average it out, we're losing about 100,000 jobs every day during the work week. 30,000 jobs added over 10 months is nothing compared to that rate of loss. We're not getting enough return on the investment. Jobs aren't being created nearly fast enough. So here's what we can do. One of the things I track is the deindustrialization of the United States. For raw data, I've created a database of businesses going out of business. These businesses are bankrupt and the assets are being auctioned off. The auction circular is mailed out to folks who might be interested in buying the equipment. I'm on the mailing list of a number of major auction houses that help businesses sell off their assets. I even go to a number of those auctions that are local to me in Massachusetts. Here's what I see when I walk into an auction. It's usually a facility ranging from 20,000 square feet to over 100,000 square feet that employed anywhere from 30 to 400 people. The equipment is being auctioned off for pennies on the dollar. It's exciting in one way because there's a reseller market that's able to buy equipment cheaply and resell it. But I always feel bad about the emptiness and quietness of the place. The number of people who no longer have a livelihood. Lights out, doors locked, out of business. I watch to see who is buying the machinery and the equipment. The assets are being sold to a number of different buyers. When I attended the Cross Pen auction, you know those nice pen and pencil sets as they're a staple of the business world, the crates that were remaining and not being sold had shipped to China on them. I often see assets being shipped to China, India, or Mexico. Cross pens are now being manufactured in China instead of Providence. About 250 Americans lost their job in that move. Losing a business and losing jobs is somewhat of an abstraction. Let's take a look at the reality. Some of those auction circulars to see what is actually going on. One observation I've made is that industries die in waves. Currently, we're losing the surface mount technology industry. Those are the people who mount chips on circuit boards for cell phones, computers, televisions, and other electronic devices. Last year, it was the plastic injection molding industry. For about 5 months, I was watching plastic injection molding companies all over America go away. In 2008, it was metal stamping and machine shops going out of business all over the country because they were tracking the decline in the auto industry. Ohio and Michigan were hard hit and are now a wasteland of empty factories. If the government really wanted the stimulus package to have a measurable effect, here's my plan. Identify industries in trouble and support them in their efforts to stay in business. Get out of their way and keep the work in America. Keep the jobs here and keep the factories open. Americans want to work, and there's no force more powerful than creative, hardworking, free people working in industries that have a government supporting their efforts rather than burdening them with overtaxation and overregulation. It's those forces which are driving companies out of business and handing that business to countries abroad. Countries like China and India have governments supportive of industry efforts. They're growing, and we're declining as a result. Think about it.